How's everyone doing there tonight? This is Undead Nightmare 24, and I'm back with another video update. On this video, I will be doing, as it is October, 31 Days of Horror. So I will be doing this within let's say 4, 5, 7 movies as I get done weekly. So, because my schedule does get a little busy, so I'll be going through a few days of what I'm watching during the month of October. And I'll go by dates, like first, second, third, so on. So, and kind of like review a movie one by one. So, we'll start here with my first movie, which is Creepshow. And I watched this on October 1st, first day of October. And this is an all-time classic. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this movie. And it is directed by George A. Romero, Stephen King, and I love this movie. I mean, it's an all-time classic. I do have an unpopular opinion of liking Creepshow 2 a little more than this one, but this is the one that started it, and it's basically like a horror anthology film, and it does have a good cast in there as well. It has a lot of people that have worked with George A. Romero in other movies, and my favorite tale of this one has to be this one right here with the creature. He's pretty much in a box. He gets shipped to this kind of like university or school, something like that, and he has this doctor, this professor from the university, or doctor, whatever he is, kind of finds the box there, and they're curious. Him and the maintenance guy go in there, get curious to look at it, and he ends up in the maintenance guy and tearing him to shreds. And it is my favorite tale, and it's kind of another guy. He's there kind of fed up with his wife. She drinks too much, and also it is played by Adrienne Barbeau. We've heard of her, very famous. She's kind of a drunk, and he's kind of bullies him and to everything, so he has these like dramatic dreams of killing her, and he wakes up and realizes it's not true. So it is a fun anthology story there, and as well as this one, which has a rich guy who kind of a nag and wants his cake and always bugging his daughter, and I think she ends up killing him, and I don't know, they end up showing up their relatives to the house, and he ends up coming out of the grave and mutilating them all, and what he wants is his cake, so he ends up pretty much putting one of the ladies' heads on the cake and bringing it there, which is a real cool scene as well. And this story right here has Stephen King, a young Stephen King, and he finds this meteor lands in his backyard, and he ends up pretty much touching it, and as he touches it, these little bumps grow on his fingers. He ends up growing these kind of plants on himself, and he's kind of a simple-minded man, and he's thinking of money, but it ends up backfiring on him as these plants continue to grow throughout his house, his yard, on him, and he ends up jumping in a bathtub full of water, and it ends up even making the process faster. Before you know it, it just turns out again covering himself as well as his whole house and spreading throughout the world. It's a real good horror anthology, real good story. And this one is got this guy, his wife's cheating on him, so he goes to the guy's house and pretty much holds him hostage, takes him to a beach, and ends up burying him like the sand, and then showing a video of his wife who was buried earlier and end up drowning to death or whatever, and they end up coming out of the water as these reanimated corpses and pretty much haunting him, and they end up putting him, which is played by Leslie Nelson, the guy from Naked Gun, I believe. They end up putting him in the sand and at the end, and he's getting a taste of his own medicine pretty much. You guys have seen this movie, I'm sure, but spoiler alert there on that. Don't watch this video if you have not seen it. But I really like this movie, so I had to put this on the top of the list to watch in October. Next up, I have Too Scared to Scream, and this is kind of like a crime movie slasher. Takes place in a New York apartment. Has a pretty much a killer. He's stalking everyone in the apartment complex and murdering them with a knife. And there's this weird guy, he's kind of like this perfect guy everyone likes, and he's very suspicious. Everyone suspects him because he lives with his mom, and mom's pretty much can't speak. She's paralyzed, and it's up giving these looks of worriedness. So it all points to that killer, but it has a great twist at the end. Don't want to ruin too much, but this was a pretty fun slasher movie. I really enjoyed it, so I gotta recommend this one. It does have a great story and twist. And then October 3rd, I watched Wax Mask, and this one was a lot of fun, man. It has some Dario Argento, and I heard Lucio Fulci was involved in this for a while before he passed. And this has a great gore effects and nice storyline. It has that Italian horror film. If you like Italian horror films, man, you'll enjoy this one. A lot of fun. Basically, has this guy that's running like a wax museum. He's kind of strange. Kind of lost his bride. She was cheating on him, so something happened, and he ends up finding a girl that looks exactly like her, falling in love. And he's obsessed with her, and then but on the flip side, he's actually getting people trapped in his wax museum and turning them into wax. But it's a lot of fun. He ends up seeing that girl's no good, so he goes after her. It's a lot of fun. Great movie. That's Wax Mask. I watched on October 3rd. October 4th, I have this one, which is The Vineyard. And I actually watched this one today. So this one has James Hong from Big Trouble in Little China. I like this movie. It's like a B movie. It's a little more low budget, but has great effects. I just wish the undead that was rising would do a little more in this, because it doesn't seem like I'm looking for, like, I guess, that zombie ripping of flesh and stuff. It doesn't have that, but it does have some great effects, and storyline's okay. It's that B movie status, but it's pretty much James Hong. He's kind of like elderly and rotting his body, so he uses like kind of victim's blood to store inside a potion where he'll make him get young again. And he wears like an amulet that keeps him there, that keeps him young and not rotting, and pretty much hypnotizes girls to love him too. But then he finds out it's a big old story with his then girlfriend or wife. She's a good movie. Then he finds another girl who he's planning to sacrifice, and goes from a twist there, while also he has corpses in his backyard that are rising. Fun movie. A lot of cheese, 80s cheese in this one, so I would recommend this. It's a pretty fun movie. Next, I apologize for that. I had to grab this movie, but next up we have Arrow Video The Prey, and this movie I did watch the, what is it, US theatrical cut, so that was a while back, but it's going to be my October 5th movie. I really enjoyed this. I had fun with this movie. I mean, it's that backwood wilderness slasher, and it has these people who go camping in the woods and end up getting stalked by this, what do you call it, deranged killer, kind of mutated. And it has a good story. I really like it. I want to watch the international cut, which I will watch tomorrow, so this will be my October 5th video. And what else can I say about this movie? Pretty much has some great kills. The killer looks awesome in this, and the storyline could have been a little better, but I still enjoyed it, so decided to watch this tomorrow. So this is my list from October 1st to October 5th of 31 Days of Horror, and this will be Creepshow. October 1st I watched. October 2nd I watched Too Scared to Scream. October 3rd I did watch Wax Mask. October 4th, actually today I watched The Vineyard. And October 5th will be the international cut of The Prey, which I cannot really review yet because I haven't seen it, but this will be my movie for October 5th. I've seen the US version, but not the international cut, so checking that out. And I will be bringing you movies probably every 5 to 7 days. I will be adding them up and giving a little quick review on them as I continue my 31 days of horror. I'm sure a lot of you are doing that, so happy October and enjoy the horror films. This is Undead Nightmare 24 with the video. Please hit a like and subscribe, would appreciate it. Everyone have a good night. Peace.